Hello again everyone, Dustin here, Average Guy Hi-Fi. I've got another subwoofer review. So this is going to be two subwoofer reviews in a row. And that, again, that wasn't the intended direction of this channel, but I just bought another speaker package and it came with a subwoofer. So I figured I would shoot a review since I just did the SVS SB1000 review yesterday. So here's another review here for you guys since this set came with a subwoofer. So this right here is the Polk PSW10. This is a very high selling subwoofer. I looked on the Amazon results and it's over 6,000 reviews, about 4.5 stars. It's a little under 4.5, but right around that range from the average reviewers out of 5. So it's got very high reviews. It's a very solid performing subwoofer. I already cheated a little bit. I was listening to this guy earlier this morning. But then after this part of the video, I'll run over there and I'll show you this thing in action. I've been having a little bit of a problem with my my camera shaking around with subwoofer reviews because I'm on a suspended floor. So I'm working through those details. If any of you guys have any hints out there how to stop the shaking in the camera, please let me know. But anyway, back to the subwoofer. So this is the Polk PSW10. It features a 10-inch woofer right here in the front. It's a nice feeling, probably a plastic material woofer. It has a foam surround. I do prefer rubber surrounds, but this subwoofer in Polk's lineup is kind of like the entry version of their subwoofers. So I've been super impressed by the performance of this thing, considering it had an MSRP price of $199. I put a link in my description as well too, but they're on Amazon. These things sell for $129. So you know, for that price range, it's going to be really hard to beat, I would say, for getting a brand new sub. So I'll just kind of go over what it has on the back here. It obviously comes with the volume control. It has a low pass filter on it. It also has an auto on off. It has a phase switch, and then also has speaker level outputs, and then speaker level inputs as well, plus the line in. So I'll be using the line in for the RCA. This amp right here, you're not going to be blown away by the specs of it, but I can tell you it does very good for what it's for kind of the way it's laid out and the price point that it hits. This is a 50-watt RMS amplifier, and it kind of the peak ratings on this amplifier, Polk saying it's 100 watts peak. So I was super surprised considering that SVS yesterday was a 300-watt RMS amplifier, so 6 times the ratings of this woofer RMS versus RMS. So again, I was watching a movie a little bit earlier. We're going to pop over in that other room, and then I'll show you guys this thing in action. I'm going to use Godzilla King of Monsters. If you guys are into home theater gear, testing stuff out, subwoofers, all that stuff, that's a really good movie. Tons of bass response. Obviously, with a movie like Godzilla, you'd expect that, but it's definitely one worth having in your collection as well if you still collect the physical media. So, enough rambling. Let's pop over there in the other room, and I'll show you this thing in action. Alright everyone, hope you guys enjoyed the demo section of the video. So now we're on to my review section. This is where I give you guys the Average Guy Hi-Fi score. So again, there's 5 categories. Each category is worth 10 points. And then I'll just take all those scores and then I'll average it out and give you the Average Guy Hi-Fi score. So the first category is quality. I gave the subwoofer a 7.5 out of 10 when it comes to overall quality. That's a very good score. Taking into consideration the MSRP pricing, I probably could have given a little bit higher, but there's a couple little gripes that I have. I always like it when subwoofer manufacturers provide a detachable power cord. Usually doesn't happen in this price range though, so no fault to Polk really there. I do like the quality of the cabinet. It feels nice and sturdy. I like the plastic piece on the front to give the subwoofer a little bit of flair. But the main gripe, again, this was the same as the other Polk speakers that I reviewed. They're entry-level speakers. The grills are just a little bit on the flimsy side. So it's, as you can see, it's pretty flexible. So 7.5 out of 10. Very good score when it comes to quality of the subwoofer. Sound, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I was really impressed with the amount of bass this thing put out, especially comparing it to the SB1000 SVS subwoofer that I literally just tested a couple days ago. So comparing a $500 subwoofer to a $200 subwoofer and seeing that maybe that gap isn't as big as everybody likes to pretend it is, this thing performs well above its price point. So I gave it a 7 out of 10 when it comes to the sound it produced within its category. Obviously, this won't compete with the SB13 Ultra SVSs or the PSA subwoofers, but I can see why it's so highly rated on the Amazon website. 6,000 plus reviews, and they're all over 4. I mean, not all the reviews are over 4, but it averages out to be over 4 out of 5 stars. So nice work out there for picking this thing up if you're one of those people. The only downside to the bass, I would say it's not quite as thick. It's hard to describe bass, but some of the more expensive manufacturers, when they use higher end components like thicker surrounds, bigger motors in the subwoofer, they have like a real thick feeling to them. So this one just is lacking that a little bit, but it has plenty of punch, and it didn't sound real boomy or anything. Maybe a little bit of boom, but not too much. The MSRP rating, really high score here. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Again, $200 to walk into a store and walk out with it, especially right now, considering Amazon's got these things for $129 shipped. I mean, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anything. I would say if this would be a good subwoofer to kind of get your foot in the door if you're thinking about doing home theater gear, and then maybe add another one down the road, and then start moving up the scale when it comes to subwoofers. So MSRP rating, again, gave it a 9 out of 10. The aesthetics, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a very nice looking subwoofer. They did a good job with the black ash finish. I really like this plastic piece that they put on the front. It gives a little bit of a style there. It's just a little bit on the boring side, but Polk had to do that. If you do gloss finishes, or if you start making the cabinets have curves and things like that, it starts adding to the overall production cost of the subwoofer. So within its budget, 7 out of 10 when it comes to the aesthetics. My price paid, this is where it didn't do as good, because I paid about $75. I bought it with other speakers, so it's a little bit hard to tell you actually how much I paid for it, but that's roughly what I will be out when it comes to this subwoofer. So I think at that $75, obviously that's a really good price if you find it on the used market. I didn't give it a super high score here because I have seen these listed for $60. I've seen them listed for $50 because so many have sold over the years. So not real high marks there. So 5 out of 10 when it comes to my price paid. So basically, what's that average to? Quality was 7.5, sound was 7, the MSRP value was 9 out of 10, the aesthetics was 7, and then the my price paid was 5. So that averages out to 71%, the average guy HiFi score. So I feel a little bit bad about that score because of how cost-friendly this subwoofer is, but everything, that's why I put so many categories in there, just to give you guys the kind of my average guy score on everything. So I think that this thing is, if it pops up, you're new in this hobby and you're trying to get a subwoofer that performs very well for the money, keep an eye out on the used market for this guy, or just hop on Amazon, so then you have one that's brand new and you don't have to have condition concerns, because this one does have like a few scrapes and things like that on the cabinet that you can kind of see. But overall, very good condition subwoofer. Super impressed with this performance. I think that this is one of those ones that it's why I like doing this stuff. Just realizing that, testing that SVS and then plopping this thing down right in the same position and kind of A and Bing them, it's like, okay, well maybe this thing kind of closes that gap a little bit more than even I had thought in my head, and I've owned a bunch of different subwoofers. So very good subwoofer. If you guys are out there kind of getting started, I think this would be a real good path for you. Again, if you guys have stuck around this long, thank you very much. Please subscribe to my channel if you're into used audio or any home audio, because I buy new as well too. Subscribe and then help me out. Right now I'm at 113 subscribers, so it keeps kind of creeping up there. And I picked up some energy speakers I'll be testing, some monitor audio speakers I'll be testing, so I'll be keeping these videos going. Thank you guys very much. I hope you're having a wonderful day.